There's a whole little detail. Here.
Yeah, like I don't.
Can I have that little remote right there? How long will it be? I'm guessing 8:30 or 9. Depending on how long. I've already Oh, there's supposed to be people here tonight for the Lindsay Economic Development Committee.
Good evening, everybody. You guys hear me out there?
Yep.
Yep, okay. Welcome, everybody. This meeting is now called to order. Start off by addressing the rules for addressing council. Members of the public may address the city council on matters within the jurisdiction of the city of Lindsay. Persons wishing to address the council address council concerning an item on the agenda will be invited to address the council during the time that council is considering that agenda item. Persons wishing to address council concerning issues not on the agenda will be invited to address council during the public comment portion of this meeting. When invited by the mayor to speak, please step up to the lectern, state your name and the city of residence, and make your comment. Comments are limited to 3 minutes per speaker. We do the call to order. Megan.
The roll call, we have that listed as for. Mayor Serna,
Present.
Mayor Pro Tem Flores. Here. Councilmember Saros,
Present.
Councilmember Sanchez. Here. Councilmember Villarreal.
Here.
All present.
Okay, let's get started, guys. I know we usually have somebody come out, do the invocation. I'm doing it today, so bear with me. When we are done with the invocation, you will all be asked to rise, and Councilmember Villarreal will start with the pledge of allegiance. Okay, just bow your heads for a moment. Father God, we thank you for the opportunity to gather here tonight this evening, Father, and just trust in you, Father, as we make these decisions for our community, Father, that you grant us wisdom, you grant us patience, Father, and discernment, Father, to know how to manage these items, Father. We thank you for always being ever present with us, Father, and guiding us every step of the way. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Amen. Okay, all rise, please.
Ready, salute.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. You may be seated. Then roll call. Let's go ahead and go to the approval of the agenda. Do we have an approval for tonight's agenda?
Motion to approve. A motion from Mayor Pro Tem Flores, second from Councilmember Villarreal. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries 5-0.
Moving on to public comment. For this section, the public is invited to make a comment on any subject under the jurisdiction of the city of Lindsay. Please note that the speakers that wish to make comment on a regular item or that item is requested by the mayor, comments shall be limited to 3 minutes per person, with 30 minutes for the total comment period, unless otherwise indicated by the mayor. The public may also choose to submit a comment before the meeting via email. Public comments received via email will be distributed to council prior to the start of the meeting and incorporated into the official minutes. However, they will not be read out loud. Under the state law, matters presented under public comment cannot be acted upon by the council at this time. At this time, we'd like to open, public comment. Welcome.
Good evening, my name is Jessica Owens, and I'm the Lindsay Council representative from New Hampshire.
Can you say your name one more time?
Jessica Owens, and I'm the Lindsay City Council representative from New Hampshire. I'm here to inform you on some school and student events from this past week. I want to begin with athletics. So this past Friday, we had our very first round of football playoff against Rosamond High School, and we had an amazing win with 47-34. They very greatly deserved this win because they've been working very hard this season. And this Friday at 6 p.m., we will have our second round playoffs, and we really hope to see you there and support our football Cardinals. So that is 6 p.m. this Friday on our field. And on to academics, last week this career technical education pathway of engineering and technology had a mentor breakfast with a couple of local engineers, including someone you might recognize, Matt Caesar. So that was very important to them because it's very important to communicate and learn more from their local communities to understand how they can improve as a pathway. We also had a couple of tours conducted to universities, including the average class of 2028, where they went to Fresno Pacific and CSU Fresno, as well as our career technical education pathway of education and family services, which was Stanislav and UC Davis. I want to conclude this report by mentioning that with the holiday season approaching us, our FBLA and FFA chapters have gotten together for the Angel Tree Project to help a couple of families in need. We have announced to our learning community that it is very important and would be greatly appreciated if they support us and these families by donating a couple of non-perishable food items or presents. And yeah, thank you so much for your time. And again, please, if you can, please come support our football team in the second round of playoffs against Riverdale at 6 p.m. on our fields.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Is there anyone else wishing to make public comment? Please come forward.
Good evening. I'm Dr. Henry Gilman,
Welcome.
and I want to thank you for the opportunity to spend a few minutes with you regarding something I think is important to all of us. Inclusion. Inclusion of lifestyle, inclusion of ethnicity, inclusion of culture, inclusion of economic stratification. Inclusion is important. But inclusion sometimes doesn't get recognized because it's not an outward discussion that we have, nor is there a format to be able to have a dialogue where somebody can guide us to that discussion. And that's particularly the purpose of my being here tonight, inclusion. Through the Veritas Art Center, we have invited a guest to come into a movie March 22nd. And I've brought you some flyers so you can be aware of them. If I could just keep one for myself so I know what I'm reading from. And on behalf of Veritas, I'm here to have you be included in what we're doing in a way that's meaningful. Dan Guerrero is a nationally recognized writer, singer, agent. For those of you that are old enough, he is the son of Lalo Guerrero. How many of you know who Lalo Guerrero is? Lalo Guerrero is the foremost composer, musician, orchestra leader, produced movies from the 1930s to the 1970s, actually 80s, and is recognized as the most significant Latino musician and producer of our time. His son, Dan Guerrero, has gone on to take on his own life and has developed a film. First, it started out as a one-act play that is played all over the country. And most recently, he did it for central administration at Amazon.com, where he did it because of the topics that we're talking about. Recently, we were able to, my wife and I were able to see him in Los Angeles, and asked him what would it take to get you to Lindsay and do a presentation here for us. And he has agreed to be here March 22nd. So why am I before you? I know you cannot make any decisions on this topic, but I'm asking you to join us. I'm asking you to join us monetarily as a city to be able to support this presentation that will take place March 22nd in the theater downtown. As you can see, we've already gotten some folks that have made commitments, like Lindsay Friday Night Market, Century 21. Some of us have put money out of our own pocket to be able to do this. We're not talking about a huge investment here. We're talking about roughly $2,500. So if the city could cough up $1,000 to be able to take part in this, it would be a very significant and symbolic step towards inclusion. Now, why is this important? Because the topics of this film, by the way, is being considered as a Netflix presentation over the course of this next year, which in itself is very significant as well.
Just to remind you, that was the 3-minute belt. You need a couple more.
Yeah, thank you. And I'll make it brief. So it is an opportunity for us to do 3 things. He'll cover 3 topics: ethnic identity, he'll cover sexual orientation, and social justice. All through this film, it's funny, and he'll be there to open it up, discuss it, close it up, and discuss it as well. And it's being sponsored by videos. It's important for us in Lindsay to be able to take a look and see how we can open up discussions that are not comfortable for us. A dear friend of mine, Dr. Rudy Acuna, wrote a book once written entitled called Anything But Mexican. And the gist of the book was, I'll be anything, just don't call me Mexican. Which we know, maybe not present, but people struggle with that still. And the idea of sexual orientation, we know that we speak to the idea that we are affirmed by choices, but in reality, we struggle with it. This opens up that conversation. And social justice under any guise is important to all of us. So I asked you, I know you can't make a decision now, but when you get to a place where you can make a decision, I asked you for $1,000 to be able to do this to pass. Like I said, we've already gotten 2 folks to give, 2 organizations to give contribution, and some of us are giving out of our own pocket because we think this is important for Lindsay. Thank you. Any questions? I didn't get this question.
Thank you.
Anyone else wishing to make public comment? Come on up.
Well, on here is that last week was our last Friday night market. This week it's gonna rain and it's gonna be under the 60s, so we're gonna cancel this week's market, and that's a full year. It'll be back on the first Saturday of March again. Another thing I want to share with you is that on our flags we have Jared Burby. He was born here in Lindsay and raised here in Lindsay, and he died. I can't remember what year, it's been like 13 years ago. But anyway, they made a film there's a movie on him on the series on that now. And if anybody wants to watch it, it's on PBS right now, and it's called Make Peace or Die. It's PBS, Make Peace or Die, and I think it's kind of neat for our community. I mean, and that's why I want to talk to you guys. Okay?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Mercy Vera, and I'm representing the Lindsay Chamber of Commerce. And I'm here to invite you guys tomorrow for a ribbon cutting of a new chamber member. And it's at the place of business is called Rancho La Papatilla. And I have a flyer for it. It's tomorrow at 5 p.m. There'll be food, music, and prizes. I would like you to actually be exposed to this place. This is one of our Lindsay businesses here. And it'd be great for you guys to go and see the business. That's great. Thank you.
Thank you.
What's the address? I'll take a look.
Is it the one on 65? That's what I was going to say.
It's not online.
Yeah.
What's the time, Mercy?
Okay, it's right off the freeway.
Go 6 Highway 65.
Yeah,
I've seen
it's a food truck, but it has a big,
They just like amped it up on
Yeah.
my yes.
Yeah, I see it every day on my way home.
Thank you.
Hope to see you guys in supporting our business.
Is there anyone else wishing to make public comment at this time? Seeing nobody, the section of public comment is now closed. And moving into council reports, I'll go ahead and start. I attended quite a few events, but I think the one that really resonated with me was the banner program, the ceremony that we had here in town. Just how the citizens were touched by the recognition of their loved ones. And because we learned along the way as well that they didn't only serve, but their family served as well. They made big sacrifices, just to have their family members go, and whether it was combat, non-combat, they still endured the sacrifice. And it was really heartfelt to see the families come out and take pride in the banners. And I thank everybody who took part and put that on and put that together and making that a special event for our citizens. Thank you guys. Appreciate it. Another one was I had an opportunity to speak as a guest speaker at the Future Business Leaders of America at Lindsay High, and just kind of share with them what we do here as the council and the community, as the decision-making process, also with businesses. And so it was great to take part in that because they had questions. And I know I wasn't able to answer every question. I did refer some questions out, but overall, I looked at a lot of them are passionate and wanting to become entrepreneurs and wanting to really do their part for this city and bring businesses in the city. And so for those of you that were in there, and those of you guys keep moving forward, keep that dream alive, and make it a reality. I'm going to challenge you guys to do that. And right now, I'd like to say thank you to all the members of my civics club that are here. There's quite a bit today. You guys can raise your hands. I know this is a requirement, but it's also a way for you guys to get your feet wet and see what we really do up here, how our decisions can help move this community in a positive direction. That being said, thank you guys. It's good to see everybody here today. Welcome tonight. And I will start with my left side, Councilmember Sanchez. I'd like to start here.
I don't have nothing to report, but it's good to see new faces out there, so I appreciate you coming to, and stay nice and warm and dry.
Yeah, just two things to report. I also attended the military banner, great ceremony, great MC, great speeches, a really heartfelt event. I also attended the rib cook-off. Huge congrats to the rib cook-off committee. Great event as always. Shout out to them and what they do to our community. And I think that's also the report. Piggyback, yeah, just stay warm, stay safe. I love thy neighbor after this interesting election. Yeah, and that's all I have to report.
I'm just gonna jump in real quick. I know, the rib cook-off was just recently, but it was a great time to be out there with people and interact with the community and the vendors. I know competition was fierce. I was one of the judges this year, and it was, I couldn't call it here. Everybody that came out did a great job with the ribs. But I think for me, the best part of that organization and that event is that they give back to so many communities, so many organizations, and it's just, it's a giving truth. And I know one of you guys are here tonight. Thank you for what you guys do. I really appreciate that. And I look forward to many more. So thank you. Moving on to Councilmember Flores. Sorry. That concludes my report.
Nothing to report here.
Quite a few. Good evening. I attended the ribbon cutting for the pickleball courts. They're looking amazing. I can't wait for the nets to go around so I can actually play because I'm gonna need the nets. I also attended the Harvest Festival at the McDermott. Kind of promoted my council campaign a little bit there. But I gave out candy, but it was such a beautiful thing to see, is like just a bunch of the community members come and just, I was just embracing the moment, having all the kids just come around and getting candy and making sure they brush their teeth after that. But that was a really good event. I also want to give a shout out to Denise over there for the QM for Kids. I got to go as a council member, but I also got to go as a teacher, and I took a group of my learners there. And they've never been there. They've lived here their whole life and never attended the rib cook-off, but they were so proud of giving back to their community. And those types of things, that's for me, because I want them to be proud of where they come from. So that was really, really cool. So I want to thank you guys for putting that on, for the city. Also attended the military, banner, which was really, really cool to see, and got to hear my grandfather's name called again. Was such a beautiful thing. So I embraced that. And lastly, the seafood broil. Food was delicious. Want to thank everybody that put it together. Virginia, it was amazing. It was such a cool thing. It was my first time actually attending, so pretty cool. Thank you.
If I could add, I also went to the pickleball court.
Making the cake.
Great ribbon cutting, and I see a lot of us are participating in those in November, mine's going well. I'm gonna do that.
All right, moving right along. We're gonna move. Thank you guys for sharing. Thank you for sharing. Staff updates. Let's start with city services.
Hello. So I have a couple of things to talk about. The first thing is in alignment with California Senate Bill 1383, which is the organic waste initiative. We have purchased 100 tons of organic compost from Mid-Valley. The cost of that is $6,228. That covers both the compost and delivery. We plan on, normally that goes out to Olive Bowl, which obviously is under construction. So we're going to be putting that compost out on Parkside and Alameda on the triangle spot over across from City Park. So that's the purpose of that, is to provide community with a valuable opportunity to enhance local gardening and landscaping efforts while contributing to the reduction of organic waste. This is something that is a requirement and we need to finish by the end of the year. So we put that delivery in today and we'll be announcing that on Facebook when that comes out.
Sounds good. Thank you, Ryan, for sharing. Do we have anything?
I got a couple
I'm
others.
so sorry.
That's all right. So we are starting a cleaning up maintenance over at Kaku Park. We just had a 20-foot roll-off bin that was delivered out there. We're going to be doing some much needed maintenance on the trees along the fence line, and then trying to kind of cut back some of the mulberry trees that are out there. Our plan is to repaint the arbor and then clean some graffiti that's on the concrete pad out there. So over the next couple of works, we'll be working on doing that. The playground equipment that is out there is going to be coming out as we proceed with the phases at Olive Bowl. So council's approved, as you all know, the $180,000 for the playground equipment. So we're going to leave it there now. Once that is in place and the completion is done, then that will be. The next is anyone that works over at the high school. I'm sure you drive by the road construction. We are entering in week 7 with that.
Oh, yeah. A lot of rerouting.
So yes, we've been working with the school district to try to mitigate any traffic issues there. The police department has had the officers and CSOs out there. They're in the process of doing some grinding and some additional concrete pours on Foothill. So they did some demolition work this week there's 3 drive approaches on Foothill that have identified as having kind of a drop off. So there's water collection there that can damage the road. So during the construction phase, we went out there with the school district, identified these were some issues that we're gonna address. The school district also wanted to address some ADA issues that are on the sidewalk on Foothill. So we partnered with the school district. They're actually contributing $33,000 towards those ADA upgrades. So this is mainly in front of, if you're familiar with that area, the southmost entrance to the old football. So if you're going into the football field, that south entry, and then the 2 drive approaches to the south. So it's been, I went out there today, it's been demolished, and over the next couple of days, they'll be pouring concrete. The concrete has to sit for 7 days before they can do anything further on it, and then they'll start doing asphalt. But it's on schedule, 60-day timeline is still valid. The next is there was a pre-test that was done on well 11. As you all know, the well's been closed for many years because of nitrates and perchlorates. We have a plan to do the cleaning on the well. Before we did that, we wanted to get some numbers to see what we were looking at. And so there was a test on that. The nitrates level right now is sitting at about 5 to 6 MCL. The state maximum for that is 10 MCL. So we're actually within on nitrates. The perchlorates is where we actually have some problems there now. So the perchlorates for that test was 8 MCL, and the state standard is 5. So we're obviously going to perform the cleaning and inspection, and that the wastewater plant would address those issues. And then lastly, I would just like to point out that at the rib cook-off, city services ranked 10th at the rib cook-off, which was better than public safety. So with that, I will end my staff report.
Thank you for that. I just want to say that I know people are concerned about the traffic right now, but it's temporary. That road needs addressing, and they're actually moving along pretty quickly. I know when they first started, the road's already taken out, and so PD has been great about directing traffic out there, making sure the kids cross safely, and so even as they're exiting the parking lots, PD has done a great job out there. But we move along quickly, and so it will happen sooner than later. So thank you. Appreciate that update. The other one, we're moving on to human resources.
Nothing to report.
Nothing to report. Public safety.
First of all, thank you. The public safety lost their numbers, so we don't know where they ranked on the rib cook-off. Second of all, I want to squash any rumors that I am auditioning for Santa Claus. I'm just trying to look as old as I possibly can, I guess. So on Wednesday, October 23rd, I attended the Public Safety Mentor Breakfast at Lindsay High School, where there's several kids that would switch tables, and there was a lot of public safety, fire, a bunch of different entities there that we got to meet a large group of children, or I shouldn't call them children, young adults, that got to ask a lot of questions, and it was actually a lot of fun through the Pathways program. So I had a good time there. On Tuesday, the 29th of October, I attended the preseason flood coordination meeting at the fire department or Tulare County Fire Department in Visalia, where there was a lot of different agencies there, police, fire, weather, NOAA was there, where we did a lot of talking and pre-planning for the upcoming season. And there'll be more meetings to follow with that. If there becomes more information, I'll share that will be important. We're just kind of pre-planning at this point. On November 1st, I attended the coffee talk, which was with city services, and it was a great turnout. It was probably because of the cooks, Dave and myself, doing pancakes for city services. It actually turned out very well. Armando coordinated that, and it was great. The rib cook-off, you guys all covered that. It turned out really good. We had the Battle of the Badges on November 4th, which is a blood drive. Had a decent turnout. I don't know exactly how much we collected, unless you know. I don't think it's been told yet. Also on Wednesday, November 6th, I attended the Lindsay Coalition community meeting. I'm sure the city manager will cover more on that. I was there just to answer any questions pretty much. And then the military banner ceremony on the 7th was a good turnout. It was my first one that I had attended here. I think it was the third year. Great turnout though. Even past families come from out of town to attend it, even though they're family members or they have been already put up on the banners. On the 6th, I don't know if you guys are familiar, but there's a fire down in Ventura County that has burnt 20,000 plus acres. It started last Wednesday just before 9 o'clock in the morning, and we activated one of our crews or a team, a strike force team that responded down there of 3. They're still down there because it's only 48% contained at this time. They're battling the Santa Ana winds, and that's what's spreading it so bad. It has, when I checked earlier, it has 2,400 personnel, 13 helicopters, 275 engines, 49 crews, and it has consumed over 20,000 acres, 90 structures have been damaged, and over 207 structures have been destroyed. A lot of these in this area, it's a lot of ranches and horse properties and stuff like that. So I haven't got anything on animals or anything yet. So that was on the 6th, and they deployed by 6 o'clock that evening, and they've been there ever since. Tomorrow we have a meeting with the Civics Club, and I'll be attending that. Also, we're going to start briefing with the police department and the patrol level to start stepping up more residential patrols, because with the holidays coming with, we call it porch pirates, but it's delivery theft, where UPS, FedEx, stuff like that, your deliveries, and people follow them around and start that kind of thievery. So we'll start stepping up our patrols in the neighborhood area when we're not responding to calls, and we'll do the best that we can to minimize that. And I'm thinking about putting out some social media do's and don'ts, and in terms of that, if you can have it delivered to neighbors or get it off your porch as soon as possible, if you have ring cams, put alerts or whatever. So that is pretty much all I have at this point.
Thank you for that update. Really appreciate it. Recreation department.
All right, good evening, council. There's a couple of things happening for the holidays. We have the turkey and food giveaway happening at the Wellness Center on the 24th. That's a Sunday, right before Thanksgiving. We have the tree lighting on Friday, December the 6th, right here at City Hall. With Santa Claus, we'll have an event downtown called Taste of Downtown Lindsay. Virginia, Genevieve, Chamber, myself, we've gone through downtown asking businesses to stay open during that night. That way people can shop or visit their shopping store. They're going to be providing snacks, goodies, drinks. So they'll be starting at Section 21 Chamber office. They're going to receive a passport of the businesses that will be open that night. They'll have to go to each business, get stamped, and then they'll return back to Section 21 Chamber and receive a raffle ticket. And they'll be able to win a prize. I believe there might be some bikes involved, 2 bikes. So we're still working on that. And then we have the Christmas parade happening on the 13th, Friday the 13th. So if anybody's interested in a float, contact Virginia. Anybody interested in giving away food, contact Francis. The flyer should be on Facebook. The numbers should be on there to contact local ladies. So we're getting ready for a busy holiday season. Today, myself, Brian, and Joseph met with the skate park project manager on Teams. So they're slated to start on December 10th for the install and hopefully be completed by December 16th. So I'll let you council know when the grand opening will be. We're thinking possibly Wednesday night of that week, that's 18th. So I'll coordinate with Chamber, that way they come out, do ribbon cutting, and Matt with the skate shop and have a little celebration. And that'll be our last project for the year. Then next year we'll start something else. So that's my report. Any questions?
No, thank you. Thank you. Okay, moving right along to our city manager.
Well, good evening, Mayor and Council. I have several items to report. I'll try to make them brief. I know we have a lot on the agenda. On Wednesday morning, October 23rd, I attended the Tulare County Economic Development Board Director meeting in Visalia. Their Christopher Greer, who is the Assistant Agriculture Commissioner, who is the featured speaker.
gave a very informative presentation on the latest Sawyer County crop and livestock report. It was interesting to learn that currently Sawyer County has almost 460,000 planting acres in commercial production and over 1 million acres of field crops in commercial production. I also thought it was interesting to learn that our top 5 commodities here in Sawyer County are milk, grapes, cattle, calves, oranges, and pistachios. As you're aware, we're completely surrounded by that. And our residents are living in agriculture to support that industry. That same day, I had the privilege of doing a presentation for Lindsay High School Civics Club. My presentation was entitled "The Role of the City Manager," to explain to the learners a little bit about city government and what the city manager does. And in the presentation, the club members had some great questions, such as, how do we participate in the council meeting? How do we report something to the city? So they have set some great questions, and we had some good dialogue. And I encouraged them to reach out to city services for works-related questions, and I even offered my email address and challenged them to email me if they wanted to discuss a topic. Many of them took me up on that offer, and we've had some great dialogue over email over the past couple of weeks. So, and again, thank you to some of the learners who are here tonight at the council meeting. I also attended the ribbon cutting pickleball courts, great event. On Thursday, October the 24th, I represented the city at the Sequoia Tourism Council's 2024 Tourism Summit that was held at the Visalia Marriott. The county did an outstanding job decorating a table for the city of Lindsay and the city of Farmersville to share. And we had some really good conversation with some visitors who sat at our table. Each one of the visitors was given a bag with some locally grown fruit, nuts, and I think there was some benefit certificate in there for Lindsay donuts. And so it was just a great time, and we heard a presentation on economic development and tourism and how that affects cities throughout Sawyer County. That evening, my wife and I visited the floating pumpkin patch at the Wellness Center. What a cool event. I think that whole idea is just absolutely brilliant. And so kudos to Armando and his staff for putting on that event. On Monday, October 28th, I was visited by Connie Conway and Jose Soloria of California American Water, discussing our water system. I don't really have anything to report. I'm giving the council's position on that matter. So we'll be discussing that at the time. And to piggyback off of what the chief said, we did attend the First Friday Coffee Talk. We highlighted our city service department, and we had a great time flipping pancakes, and staff served up breakfast, and it was just a great time. And then, the rib cook-off, my wife and I attended that event. My wife doesn't eat ribs, but I think I ate enough for the both of us. I had no idea how large that event was. I was pleasantly surprised at the attendance. There were so many great vendors, and as the mayor indicated, just what an opportunity to get out and mingle with community members. And I met vendors from all over the Central Valley, and in all transparency, council, so it doesn't get out. Things did get out of hand a little bit, and found myself in some trouble. I ended up in jail, but I was in good company. It's all in fun, great event, and I think it's just a wonderful thing for our community to bring people in to our downtown area. On Wednesday, November the 6th, we hosted the monthly community coalition meeting at the Wellness Center. That event was very well attended. Had the opportunity to share some updates as far as the things that are happening around the city. Specifically, the work that's been done to balance the city's general fund along with water and sewer enterprise funds, while as department heads providing department-specific updates. We received a lot of positive feedback from the attendees with regards to what's happening here in the city of Lindsay. And then the military banner ceremony, I just want to say this about that ceremony. It was a very emotional ceremony, and as I saw the community standing out in front of City Hall and all of our staff was there, the entire council was there, I was very proud of this city's patriotism as we honored our very own service members. It was a very special evening. And then lastly, earlier today, I had a visit from Alita Verduzco and Michael Washman, who is the Associate Director of Tulare County Resource Management Agency. In addition to sharing information about some of the services that Tulare County is willing to provide for us, Mr. Washam also informed me that the city of Lindsay has been selected to receive some of the county's remaining ARPA funds, approximately $12,000 to $15,000 to use towards promoting economic development and tourism here in the community. So I should be receiving the formal letter before the end of the month, and then I'll provide council with an update once I know the exact amount for that. And that concludes my report.
Thank you all for sharing tonight. We'll move right along to the consent calendar. Routine items approved in one motion unless an item is pulled for discussion. There will be no separate discussions on these matters unless a request is made. In which event the item will be removed from the consent calendar to be discussed and voted upon by a separate motion. Wish to pull anything from the consent calendar there? I motion to approve in one motion.
Second.
We have a motion from Mayor Serna, second from Councilmember Saros. Councilmember Villarreal,
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Flores.
Aye.
Councilmember Sanchez.
Aye.
Motion carries 5-0 to approve the consent calendar.
Okay, moving on right along to the presentations. 11.1 Price Star Downtown Development. Come up. We'll make sure that microphone's on.
Good evening, city council members. My name is John Sartz. Nice to see you again, Mr. Mayor. Some of you may recognize me. Nice to see you again, Mr. City Manager, Chief of Police. More pleasure to see you again, and welcome back. You recall about a year ago, we presented our project to Armando and the city administration at that time, and subsequently we presented our project to the city council about 8 months ago. I personally presented this project myself about 7 months ago, so you may find me a familiar face.
Should have an arrow.
Okay. I'm going to try to go through this as quickly as possible. And we've done this once before.
Point it at the laptop right here.
Okay.
Oh, wrong way. No, you hit the wrong button. Here.
Challenge.
Yes.
Yep. Okay, good. So I'm going to invite Jim Doty up here with me. Jim is familiar as well. Jim is our grant person, has worked with various cities in various positions and has a great deal of experience. So he and I are just going to run through this very quickly. If you're familiar with my last presentation, this is a fire lot, an office building that burnt down in the center of town in Lindsay. And we approached the city council to purchase this lot many months ago. This is what it looks like currently. So this is another point of view. City of Lindsay down here, right? We want to revitalize the burnt down building over here. a parking lot here. The Sequoia's up there, and then this parking lot. So that's the parcel we're talking about. We are proposing a 108 unit apartment complex on top and a mall subterranean at the base for mixed use project. This is what it would look like. This is what the city would like to see per an administration that we went through these motions, glass and brick, which is, I think, consistent with what the downtown you would want to look like. So something spectacular. And that would draw people in, revive the economy, and stimulate all the growth surrounding the city. Something state of the art. Retail stores on the bottom, 1 bedroom upstairs units. Okay, and so my partner who could not be here tonight in our development company is Chris Christiansen, and he and I have many projects throughout the years. This is Jim Doty. Jim has administered over 50 million in programs, state and federal sources, and I'm John Starks, manufacturing background in Los Angeles in food and production. So these are some of our projects. I know the city was interested in seeing some of our experience. We built communities. We've been in the Central Valley building USDA homes since 2017. Remodeling, tilt-up construction, tenant improvements, apartments.
Can you share a little bit about the commercial aspect of the company? Is that some of the work you guys have done as well?
Yeah, so we have built communities like the Waterstone in Colorado, and projects very similar to this. Am I going through this too fast?
For me, a little bit fast. So it's okay.
I was told you have many
Yeah, no
things
worries.
on your agenda.
We do, but
What we
this is,
really invited you for is an update as to what is going on, have you obtained financing?
Thank you very much. And I am going to where? Okay, Jim.
And I think we told you the last time we were here that it should take 4 years to make progresses.
Right.
Correctly.
Yeah.
Well, from the time we left, nothing was progress because we can't, this one more step we have to do, we have to have control of the property. So do we need to enter into a contract of sale or an option to purchase the property from the city? And there's laws against developing property or making plans on property you don't have any control over. That's against the law. Anyway, so that was the next step, and nothing's happened since our last meeting because of that. The city, first of all, for some reason, I don't know why, they couldn't find the appraisal of the property. And then it was deferred to the new city manager came on board before they wanted to do a contract or a sale of the property or anything like that. So we've just been basically waiting till the city manager got up to speed, got going. This is rather a big, complicated project, and you know, it's not something that poor city managers jumping into a lot of stuff. As you know, of course.
Yeah, we understand that, but at what point after we make a decision whether to sell it or whatever, what's the time frame?
Remember we mentioned 4 years? It still should be that.
It's still 4 years?
Well, yeah, because nothing's transpired from the last time we met with you. Nothing. Like I said, everything.
I have a question. So from my understanding, I spoke to the former director of city services, neighbor, about this and to see what the holdup was, and she said something about water supply. I believe you guys got our water report, and as you know, the city has a pretty limited water, and we were just determining whether or not we could supply enough water to accommodate those homes. Are you familiar with that
That's
issue?
right, we were waiting for the water report, and we got it, studied it, and it actually, it wasn't that complicated, and there is in this, project, the ability to fix some of the things to make it where it's feasible and works in with the water supply that you currently have, and I mean, that's not, when I looked at the report and we discussed it with the city manager, and it didn't seem like this was a big obstacle.
Okay.
You know, basically is what the conclusion was after that report. But we did look at that.
Okay.
But that was another thing that
Yeah.
you know, we aren't sure about that. Oh goodness, we can't do it because, but then the report wasn't complete. So it needed to be reviewed, needed to be refined. It was complete. We looked at it and we did all that, but still, our next step is to get a contract to enter into a purchase of the property where we have control of it. We can start doing the plans and all that.
My second question, you said that you guys do residential projects throughout the Central Valley. How are those financed?
So,
Because I know that you last proposed private funding, you proposed grant funding, and you proposed some sort of government subsidy, something like that. I'm wondering how you finance those projects and if
It's
you're
a
gonna do
very
that same
mixture.
approach. Yeah, and my uncertainty with that would just turning over the property and then not really understanding your plan to finance it. And to see whether or not you'll finish the project in those 4 years if financing is secured.
If you look
Oh,
on the
perfect.
Yeah, we laid out the three areas of financing and how to finance it, and where it says conventional, that's basically private financing, or that's not a big problem.
So, you submit an application for a grant and federal loan. What if you don't receive one of these grants or federal loans? What's the plan?
I didn't know.
Yeah, okay, so on your timeline, it says that you submit an application for a grant and a federal loan for financing. What if you guys don't receive enough funding in order to finance a project? What's plan B?
Well,
Or do you have an expected cost of the total project?
the financing that's listed there is critical. If the financing doesn't work, and all escrows and what have you, contracts of sale and auctions, everything are conditioned upon financing being put together. So this project, $40 million, 42 million, whatever you want to say, $40 million wouldn't be feasible without this financing. There's no way you could privately build this project and it be anywhere near feasible. There's no way in anybody's lifetime that you would ever see any positive bottom line. It would constantly be negative, and in fact, nobody would finance it because it just doesn't, numbers don't match. So with the financing that's listed there, it actually makes the project feasible.
Of that $40 million, how did you calculate that? Is that for that specific project?
Well, we had
Or is that an estimate for?
we had a list, I think, one of the other
Because my
lists.
big thing is just I don't really have security or clarity as to how the project's really gonna move forward. That's just my, my opinion. And so I'd like to just be presented a solid plan, a timeline, some assurity that you'll receive the funding and be able to complete the projects before we transfer over the property. And that's all the question I have.
Yeah, is there any way it could be phase 1, phase 2, phase 3 to where we see the progress?
Yeah, the thing is, before you ever see anything, the majority of the work, I've always said whenever I've gone into construction on a project, by the time we break ground on the project, it's done. The rest is simple. The plans are there to build it, right? And it may take a year and a half to build it. But all the work that's done up to that, drawing the plans takes a year at least. Just putting the plans together up this thick. The applications and the requirements for financing or about that big paperwork. And then all the planning that's done with the city and, the state and everything else, you know, it's just all that is time consuming and detail oriented. You know, going back and forth with architects, engineers, and all the people will, you know, their soil tests have to be done, you know, and structural integrity and, you know, I mean, the list goes on and on of all the requirements and meetings that have to be done, not only with the city council, but with engineers and contractors. This is how it goes. And if you remember, in fact, I got a call from Redmond Homes, which is right here in Lindsay. Is that still gonna happen? I said, yeah, we're just, you know, things are just hung up a little bit. Yeah, because they're, you know, they're a company right here and they're gonna build all the individual units that you mentioned. Anyway, it's a complicated project and, you know, there's all kinds of stuff before the construction even starts. The majority of the work is before that.
Yeah, and one last final thought. The reason I ask all these questions is I'm not gonna be here in January, you know, so I wanna just, as a, not just a member of this council, but as a concerned citizen and as a oversight for our taxpayer dollars. I think if we transfer the title, the property to you guys and the project doesn't get completed, I think it's only fair that there's some sort of clause in that contract where the city obtains ownership of the property again, rather than just having it in the hands of the private developer that doesn't really fulfill their promise. So just want to put that out to the council for you three that are gonna be here. I won't be here in January.
Well,
Yeah. Well, I still think it can happen and it's a great project.
the thing is, that's why we use things like a contract of sale, a contract to purchase a property, or an option. Because then,
There's always contingencies.
yeah,
There's always contingencies
Right.
that have to be met.
exactly,
And that.
exactly. You have to have that. You're not gonna lay out money for something that's never gonna happen and end up laying out a lot of money. I mean, once we get control of the property, we're spending a lot of money just to get to the next step. Because we go into design, preliminary design, all the other stuff. And engineers and architects, as the city well knows, this isn't you know, these guys make over $100 an hour, $200 an hour, and some $600 an hour. And so, you know, we're planning on spending a lot of money, but you don't spend all the money you have without any control of the property or anything, and you don't actually purchase property. If we don't purchase it at the end of the time we're supposed to purchase it, then, you know, of course the city still has it. You know, you can do whatever with it. Just we have to really have control of the property so that we can draw up these plans and go to the engineer and he says, wait a minute, you guys don't own this property. You guys don't control.
And also, you know, like I said, we approached you a year ago, not you, but several administrations, and there's been quite a bit of turnover. And so Damon, who we just presented recently, is probably the fourth or fifth administration. Armando's the only face I recognize from a year ago. I mean, he's the only constant, but at that time it was Curtis Tannen and Araceli, and so it just keeps getting delayed because nobody's approved the project so we can move forward. We're very anxious to move forward. It's a very ambitious project. And we're not asking for money from the city like most people you would think would. We're asking to give you money, bring in commerce, create some taxable dollars, revive downtown. And with this project goes downtown. I mean, all these buildings will stand up taller. I think it's just a huge win. And you know, quite frankly, this area needs, you saw the title, it needs a jewel of the Central Valley, and that's what we want to do. We want to bring a diamond, you know, to the city. We've been trying.
I guess to help you out, like city staff, does anyone know what the appraisal is for that, or the base value of it, or how much it costs to sell?
The appraised
Just to
value,
give you some answers since we have you here.
the appraised value is 390,000.
Okay, so the appraised value is. So the appraised value is 390,000. So what, now that you have the info, what will you do with that? Now that it's, will you purchase it for 390,000? Perfect.
Purchase it.
We're getting a ball on it.
We aren't asking for any discount.
That's what
Give them what they need.
The one thing, like on the grant program, there are only 2 more cycles till 2026. Then we don't know with the new election and everything, well, okay, is that money gonna be renewed? Or we could apply again? So we really need to get it in. This particular project fits perfectly with what the grant is intended. I mean, it fits to the T, all the things they want and all the things they're looking for. This project is the poster child, so to speak, of that. So as far as getting funded, I've written a lot of grant applications, and these things are always at least 4 inches thick. Some of them double binders, 8 inches thick. And I've written those for years and everything else until I retired. And I've seen many projects developed and everything. So I've even told experts, even individuals that teach grant writing, I've even told them how they should do things and rewritten grants for people and all kinds of stuff in the past. So I do know how these applications need to be put together and what's required, and I do know how to analyze that and do that. I'm not blowing my horn or something, but I want to give you the confidence. If we do the application, I can't imagine not getting funded for the grant. Then there's another, and it's probably 6 inches of paper for the other loan, for the multi-housing family loan, multi-family housing loan. And the smallest part application, whatever financing, conventional financing we get, is probably only this thing. So, yeah, but we know how to do that, and we've done it before many, many times, and been funded, you know, over $100 million. So, well over 100 million. But, you know, it's just a matter of. Right.
And if I could interject, I think where we're at is, I think it's safe to say that council is familiar with the project. TriStar brings up a good point in that they don't currently have control of the property to move forward. And I feel like we're almost getting the cart before the horse. And the direction that I've given TriStar is, I think we're at a point where if they're interested in moving forward with the project, they need to make an offer on the property. And obviously that offer will then have to come to council for discussion and consideration. And then this project has to go through the site plan review process. And so, you know, if they want to proceed with the project, they need to put an offer in on the property and then initiate the site plan review process. And, you know, as far as timing of the project itself, the entitlements and the permitting can take 1 to 2 years, should take no more than 2 years. I can't really speak to the construction, but we could certainly work with the city attorney on crafting an agreement that would set certain timelines for completion, if that's something that the council is interested in pursuing.
The city manager doesn't know what he's doing.
But what, go on with it, start the fight. Everybody else is ready.
When was the last time it was appraised? Like how long ago? Was that a year ago?
The appraisal was conducted in April of last year.
Oh, gosh.
I'm sorry, April this year.
24?
We're still in.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can have a list itemizing the 40 million, 42 million, and the costs where it is. And in that list was 390,000 for the property. So, like I said, not, even if it appraises a little more, that
Sounds good.
I support it.
Forward.
I support it. It was not working.
390,000.
Yeah, we're not here to lowball.
Yeah.
We're here
No, of
to
course.
work with the city, get this going.
It's a great
And,
idea.
you know, we keep showing up and want to get it done. Sounds good.
My last question
Well, we'll
is,
see.
have you guys did a project exactly like with the 108 in the mall below? Or would this be your first?
This would be our first.
exactly right.
Yeah.
There's a lot of big projects.
Yeah, there's
Some bigger. than
Right.
this.
There's a lot of mixed use, but this would be one of a kind here as far as this goes. And
nothing in the Central Valley. So it's mostly been USDA homes and apartments, and combined with the small and subterranean garage. This is a different project, but you know, it's building. You know, you're building. It's planning and permits and conditions. And, you know, we're confident that we can work together and get this approved and make something state of the art. And we want to get going. I know sounds good.
All right.
And when this project breaks ground, I guarantee you everybody within 10 miles is gonna know what's happening. There's areas we have to close roads, highways, a lot of transporting of stuff and heavy equipment. We're gonna dig a hole in the middle of the city of Lindsay that's 45 feet deep for parking. Huge, the whole lot, right? All parking underground. And, just a lot of stuff. I mean, really gonna be noted, but when it's done, it'll be something.
Right, but it was just you get a lot of publicity out of it. It's going to create a lot of jobs.
I'll have a big
tax
ground
dollars,
ribbon
and
cutting.
all roads lead to Lindsay. You won't be here, but all roads.
I'll be around. I won't be
Well,
but I'll be around.
Stick around.
I'll stick around, yeah.
Well, thank you guys.
Hopefully it's like that.
No more questions?
No, thank you.
Thank you.
You have the blessing.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Public
I
comment?
didn't hear the word.
Yeah, here's the-
Comments?
yes.
Yeah, you guys want to come to public comment? Yeah, we got to stay in.
I'll do my best. In a recent report for housing for Tulare County, there was a section C that dealt specifically with Lindsay. And the proposition was you wanted to put 456 new units, housing units in the city of Lindsay in different areas, including the project we showed my talking about. In between all of that, they said water was a huge issue, not a minor issue, not something to work around. But the water, not just amount of water, the quality of water is a huge issue. I beg you to take a more closer analytical view of what the water implications are. Because the last thing we want to do is exacerbate our situation with water. And if we put in 108 units, what does it cost to support water-wise a unit? And how does it multiply out times 108? And then all of the retail. How does that all multiply that out? What would that mean to your home about the water that you get, or your home, the water that you get? It's not as simple as saying we got to talk about it. Doesn't look like a problem. That's baloney. The truth of the matter is you need to have an analytical perspective and evaluation of what the water content is, quality of water, amount of water before you move forward. And I beg you to look at that closely. The second thing I would ask you to take a look at is send people out to other places that have been built so we can have match apples to apples. Not maybe something in construction and maybe some that have been fulfilled and how they've been sustained. Because once we sign the dotted line, we have given up what the heart of Lindsay. Thank you.
Thank you.
What I have heard is that water is a big issue here in Lindsay. And we can't really build anything until the water issue is done. So why go ahead with plans that we don't even know yet when the water issue will be done? And the other thing is, I don't understand why you guys didn't bring or demonstrate places you've gone similar to what we're asking to show how you've done it and what they look like and what was the outcome of it. And I agree with Dr. Midwell. You should go out and look at what the work they have done. Thank you.
Anyone else wishing to comment? Right. You're now closing this portion of comment. Thank you. Moving on to action items. Action item 12.1, Tyler Technologies ERP 10 Pro 10 Financial Management Suite. Submitted by Lindsay. Good evening, ladies and welcome.
Good evening, Mayor Sana and President Flores and Councilmember. Tonight, I have for you a contract with Tyler Technologies for financial software. As you recall during our conversations during the audit, it's been identified that our current accounting software is outdated. It's hard to pull data from, and it's caused a lot of inefficiencies in the business department. So I've done research with several other companies. First, I started with our current software to see what it would cost to upgrade our current system. It was going to cost $729,535 just to upgrade the system that we have currently. And then the $56,779 that we're currently paying annually, and sorry for my voice, I'm not going the best. But that's what we pay annually. Once we upgraded to the $729,535, that most likely would increase as well with the new system. So I looked into other systems. I talked to other cities who are using the systems that I looked into, such as Oracle, OpenDev, Enterprise, ERP, ERP Pro, and Sage Intacct. The most economical and efficient software was Tyler out of all the softwares that I did look into. Tyler Technologies ERP Pro is a financial suite that is online, 100% online. Every time they update their system, every customer gets it. So you can never get into the day and age of where you're outdated, where we find ourselves currently. And the initial cost is $107,520 to implement and for your first year to get going. So what we would like to do is start it now so that we could start implementing from November through March, get it up and running, and then March through June, or simultaneously in both systems, make sure all data is accurate and on board by July 1 to go completely live next July 1. The annual cost after this year would be at the actual savings from that $56,779 that we currently pay to Central Square down to $48,603 for 3 years, and then a 3% increase year 4, and it cannot increase above the 5% annually. So I brought general fund to you guys. This year we balanced that general fund budget. We took into account of while we were working on balancing the budget of a small surplus, which would cover this increased cost for this year. I have had both legal and our current auditors evaluate the system and approve this expenditure to make sure that they felt that it would also be feasible with the current year surplus that we are experiencing and recognizing in that last general fund amendment that we approved at the August 2017 meeting, I believe. And it is the recommendation of the city to approve this contract. I'm happy to answer any questions.
So we're saving money, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
Overall,
Let me
you will
get clear.
save money. You will never have an antiquated system. I do have a video that I have made in that you can play also, so you guys can see the system and the highlights. But you will actually save annually going forward, and you'll never find yourself in an obsolete position.
And then one more question. So the community will have access to this?
Yes, that's another piece of the puzzle. When you talk about accessibility, people will be able to actually go online, make their payments from their computer, credit card processing, instead of coming in, they can actually do it from the computers at their home, their smart devices, and I'll have Megan play that for you guys as well.
Nice. Thank you.
Megan, can you please start the video?
Just give me 1 second. I have to click it, hold on.
At Tyler Technologies, our software is designed to integrate local government departments so they can operate as a cohesive and efficient unit. Ranging from financial and personnel management to citizen services and utility billing, Tyler's ERP Pro product suite provides more than 1,900 cities, counties, special districts, and other local government departments throughout the country with completely integrated software solutions. And it's been doing so for more than 30 years. From metropolitan suburbs to rural communities, Tyler is there. It's been estimated U.S. organizations spend more than $120 billion each year on printed documents. How much paper does your department use each year? With ERP Pro, make your office paperless. Create and send documents like invoices, packing slips, and reports between departments electronically and automatically without having to print a single piece of paper. Deliver electronically via email, PDF, or any format you choose. The days of manually compiling, printing, and distributing reports are gone. ERP Pro allows you to save customer reports and automatically schedule them to deliver electronically. Accurate budgets and forecasting are key tasks for local governments everywhere. With ERP Pro's powerful yet easy-to-use projection and budget management tools, you won't waste precious time digging and searching for important data. ERP Pro allows you to create accurate personnel and operational budgets without manually entering data. Easily import and export the information you need to and from spreadsheets. And since ERP Pro's flexible functionality adapts to your organization's budget development process, you'll find it incredibly easy to generate the information you need to forecast accurate budgets. Unlike other solutions, ERP Pro doesn't limit your access to your data. Take advantage of unlimited access to any and all of the information you need. Slice, dice, and analyze your data your way. ERP Pro doesn't just export to spreadsheets. It automatically links any data updates you make in your software directly to your workbooks. ERP Pro allows you to get to the data you need and work with it as you see fit. Through powerful filters and search grids, you can narrow the data down to specifics or keep the information as high level as you like. You can create charts, graphics, and manipulate the data exactly how you need to. ERP Pro allows you to automatically upload this information to your organization's website, helping you to become more transparent. You see, citizen engagement is becoming increasingly important. Citizens want to access important data and filter and sort it to their liking. This gives your constituents insight into important decisions and, more importantly, how their tax dollars are being spent. ERP Pro allows local governments to extend their reach to their citizens and, in turn, for citizens to connect in a more meaningful way. For example, they can make routine payments on your website or access important reports and gather data. It's been estimated that searching for information can take up as much as 20% of an employee's day. That's why ERP Pro tailors the user experience to meet each employee's needs, allowing them to access the information they need to do their job. With ERP Pro's browser-independent functionality, you can customize the layout of your screen, giving you instant access to the exact information you need to do your job effectively. That means no more manually searching for information. Everything you need is delivered directly to your fingertips. And since ERP Pro is compatible with any mobile device, you'll have access no matter if you're in the office or on the go. At Tyler, we offer software that is always evolving without ever becoming obsolete. And when you partner with Tyler, you'll have access to the most recent technology without having to pay for a single software update ever again, thanks to our evergreen philosophy. And with our 98% client retention rate, you can see that we partner with our clients for the long haul. Trusted by more than 1,900 cities, counties, districts, and other local government departments throughout the country, Tyler Technologies ERP Pro software is designed to move your city forward with trusted, scalable, and effective solutions.
So that's Tyler in a nutshell. I've actually worked with a Tyler product called Tyler News in the past, which is much larger scale, but for the city of our size, info is what we need.
I was just gonna ask, but fine. Any other questions?
Nope, I just know that it's needed. It'll probably streamline the process, eliminate the possibility of human error, and set up the determination clause in case we're not satisfied with it. I support it.
Thank you.
Good. Is there any public comments on this item? No, seeing none, public comments closed. Do I have a motion to approve?
To approve.
Second.
We have a motion from Mayor Pro Tem Flores, second from Councilmember Saros, Councilmember Villarreal.
Aye.
Councilmember Sanchez. Mayor Serna.
Aye.
Motion carries 5-0.
Congratulations, hope you feel better.
Thank you, Lindsay. Moving on to item 12.2, amendment of Lindsay Economic Development Committee bylaws. Submitted by Megan. Hey,
Yes. Real quick. So we brought the bylaws to council before and you guys requested a change to the boundaries. So this amendment is just a change to the boundary lines. We went with the Lindsay Unified School District boundaries because it does extend past city limits and as you can see on the screen. So that is really the only change aside from just some of the wording in that we had to make. But yes, so as you can see on the screen, that would be the new boundaries and we would just amend that before selecting committee members. And that way, the next item, members that aren't within city limits can be considered.
any questions first?
Nope, but I think, I have requested.
Yes.
Yeah, just to reiterate, just to, expand the sphere of influence a bit and allow those who don't live within city limits to be part of it. And, that's all I have.
Okay, seeing no questions, I'm gonna open this item up for public comment. If you wish to make public comment on this item. Seeing nobody, this item is now closed. Do we have a motion?
A motion to approve item 12.2.
We have a motion from Councilmember Cerro, second from Councilmember Sanchez, Councilmember Villarreal,
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Flores.
Aye.
Mayor Serna.
Aye.
Motion carries 5-0.
Okay, moving right on with item 12.3, Lindsay Economic Development Committee member appointments, also by Megan.
So attached to your staff reports are the applications that we received initially and the additional applications that we received. I did send an email out to to our applicants to ask them to be here. I think there may be some in the audience, but we would just need you to select up to 5 committee members for this.
Questions, Tony?
I think we did basically have one here. One.
Just give us a minute and then I'll open this up for discussion.
So council, there was one that I did mark as ineligible, just because the address and the business address, neither were connected to Lindsay. They were more connected to Porterville and the Twilly River Tribe, and that was Gary Santos. Otherwise, it's redacted in your packets for privacy reasons, but the other ones I did find to be within the boundaries, the new boundaries.
Can I ask who's here? Get that light.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah. We have quite a few.
And then who's who?
I'm gonna go ahead and open it. Come up and say a few words. One of you guys want to come up? Please state your names.
Good evening, my name is Guadalupe Velasquez, longtime citizen of Lindsay, I recognize a lot of faces, never really been involved. And it's time to get involved, so, that's why I'm here. I'm really interested in helping, making a difference, and definitely having some influence in the future of our own town. Thank you.
I see you work in healthcare, that's a cool, nice skill. to have.
30 years, yes. Any questions?
Thank you.
Good evening, I'm Dr. Henry Yellow. I have returned to the valley just recently and we've, my wife and I decided to make Lindsay our home. You know, we live, I think, across the street from you.
Diagonal, yes.
Yeah, I come with a background in higher education as an administrator, worked large and small institutions. I have a strong research background. I've also spent 10 years working on the issues of mental health in the Latino population. So bring that with me also. When we decided to move here, we made a commitment that we would apply our skill sets to try to enhance how Lindsay is developing. And I think that the talents that I bring, the skills that I bring, could contribute to that. I have the time, I'm retired now. And I've got a couple of projects that I'm working on, both here in town and out of town. But I have the time to be able to commit to what we're doing here. And well, that's it, unless you have questions.
Questions? Thank you. Come on up.
Good evening, council, mayor. My name is Matthew McGroney. I am a resident of Lindsay. I just live literally 2 miles away, so when you expanded the school district borders, it made me more eligible. Thank you for doing that. Lindsay means a lot to me. It is my new home. I've been here 13 years. Met my wife here. My wife's worked for the school district for almost 25 years now. Her name is Anna Benitez. And our kids went to Lindsay High School, all their whole schooling. And I have a love for Lindsay because I want them to have something to come back. They want to come back. They want to, well, one is still here going to school, but when they're done with their schooling, they want to make their life here. And so I want to make an impact through economic development to help them do that.
Sounds good, thank you.
Thank you. That's the biography that I read last. Eagle Mountain, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that's it.
Hi, welcome.
Yeah, my name's Jonathan. I'm the owner of Cueria Mexicana, JLM Jewelry. After my mom passed about a year ago, my brother and I decided to continue the business. So we've been there for like about 30 years. So downtown, I've seen it through lots of changes. I live in Porterville, but you know, I go to church here, went to Lindsay High School, elementary school here. And yeah, I mean, you see downtowns like Exeter, Visalia, and Porterville, and so kind of just want to be part of revitalizing it and yeah, making it be a success.
And you are Jonathan?
Yes.
Anyone else wishing to make comment? Okay, this comment is now close to the side. Okay, guys.
All right, so we have to select up to 5. If no one, I'll go ahead and go first. Matthew Migroni, sorry if I butchered that. My first. My second is Jonathan Roki. My third is Guadalupe Vasquez. My fourth is Henry Ganueva. And my fifth. Those are my 4 for sure.
You see that, who was out? Was it the Gary Soto?
Yeah, it's marked ineligible on top of that page.
Council, I believe the way the process works is the members will need to be recommended by the mayor and voted upon by the council. But I think the discussion is good.
Thank you for that, Bill. I was looking over our packet right now. I don't see any further names, but I do want to recommend that the people that took the time to come out, while with and also Matthew and John. However, we don't have a 5th person, and so I'm kind of in a quandary of that. Do we have a 5th person? Perhaps in the minutes?
I have a question. So, 2 council members are required. I'm off this council in a month. However, I still want to be part of the committee.
You're our 5th choice.
So can I be the 5th choice, or do I have to apply? Just because originally it was sort of my idea to form the committee, but I'm not going to be a part of this council, you know. But I still want to be part of the committee.
Favorite question I've ever been asked before, but I think currently, because of the way it's written, I don't think you can serve on it right now. I think you would need to apply after you're off.
Okay, what's that?
Yeah. But if we choose them now, then.
I'm still serving.
Can you take that on?
Can we confirm the 4 and then next month I'll come as a public comment and also more
I think that could be the option that you guys have.
Here's a
You guys will
suggestion.
like the whole.
Why don't we wait till let's confirm the form?
Because if we have that vacant, then we can leave the applications open right?
Correct.
Yeah.
I'll apply the second I'm off.
Okay.
Sounds good. Do we have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve, but I think we have to appoint two council members, right? Right. We have to appoint two council members.
I thought it was just for the citizens. I think the council members at some point will be asked.
Yes, so next
Right.
council meeting, when we have the new council, we're gonna have you select your board and
That's further down the line.
yeah.
As of right now, our main focus or sole focus is the citizens. Any other questions? Okay, I motion to.
Congratulations, everyone. I second that. Sorry.
Appreciate it. Do I have a second?
We have a motion from Mayor Cerna, second by Councilmember Saros, Councilmember Villarreal,
Aye.
Councilmember Sanchez.
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Flores.
Aye.
Motion carries 5-0 to confirm Matthew Mangroni, Jonathan Roque, Guadalupe Vasquez, and Henry Villanueva.
Thank you guys for
Thank you,
coming.
guys.
Okay, moving on to item 12.4. Obligate remaining ARPA funds. Lindsay?
Good evening again.
Good evening.
As you recall, back in May on the 28th, we had already obligated our remaining ARPA funds for $1.9 million. In those obligations, there was a project for Orange and Tulare. I didn't want to say that wrong name. Orange and Tulare, however, due to timing constraints and having to obligate those dollars by December 31st of this year, we were not able to fulfill that obligation. So I am bringing back the same item and reallocating $139,000 to the water waste treatment plant bar screen in conjunction with our HCD funds. We did get everything quotes, and they are much higher than what we had for the HCD funds to cover. So we would like to reallocate those funds that were for Orange and Tulare, and then the water capacity study ended up not being 50,000, it came in at 41,000. So we would like to allocate that balance to the water waste treatment bar screen, and the new resolution will be 2440 for those final allocation of those funds. I was happy to answer.
No, I remember the funding how it was last time. I think that's a great idea. We're just recycling back from it.
Yeah.
Any other questions?
One question.
I just need to make sure that the Orange and Tulare will be, the funds will be allocated for next fiscal year, for sure. I don't know.
So that will be a project that we will have to reallocate in our CIP, because these were specific funds where we have the funds and have spent them at a specific time. We have to see what our streets, and those are the budgets that I'm currently working on. If you remember from our last meeting that I'll be bringing in December. So we're looking at when the time frame that we'll be able to get them back in, because of, I believe the time constraint is on the drawings, right? Of why we couldn't meet the December.
What project is Orange and Tulare, remind me?
It's a street project. Except.
Yeah, called the Val project, but it's, yeah, we'd have allocated ARPA funds for that, and I think it was for design.
But
So it's still in our overall CIP, but we need to see where that budget is to see where we can timeline wise, where we can do it, but it's not going to be a project that's just forgotten or not done.
Yeah.
It's just that we can't meet that obligation by December 31st. So that will have to go back into our street fund, and those are the next set of budgets that will be brought back in December.
Yeah, I just want to make sure that it's not forgotten.
No, it won't be
Already
forgotten.
honors the people there.
Right, so
So,
if I can step in, that's something that obviously council, it was something that we would come back to council on, and council would put that as their intended project.
Thank you for that, Ryan. Okay, well, if we have no further questions, I'd like to open this item up for discussion.
Public comment.
Public comment. Anyone wishing to make a comment on this item? Okay, this section is now closed. Okay, I'll motion to approve. Second, item 12.4.
I can second.
We have a motion from Mayor Cerna, second from Councilmember Saros, Councilmember Villarreal.
Aye.
Councilmember Sanchez.
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Flores.
Aye.
Motion carries 5-0.
Okay, thank you for that, information, Lucy. Okay, hang in there, folks, we're almost done. We're moving on to item 12.5, release request for proposals for wastewater treatment plant, bar screen design and build project. Right?
So thank you very much. So I have the pleasure to announce our exciting topic of wastewater. So a little background is our wastewater treatment is what processes our waste. There's a piece of equipment called a bar screen, and what it does, it's on the front end of the treatment facility. It's what filters out all the plastic, any solids, rags, anything like that before it reaches the pumps. The bar screen that is currently in place was installed in 2001. It obviously is, used every day. It's got wear, and although it's currently working, our fear is if it fails, that we're going to have to send employees out there 3 times a day to manually remove human waste. So we have identified this as a project. We are looking to release a RFP for this project. We're going to be doing it in 2 phases. Because of the funding source on this, we have some timelines. As Lacey and you just provided, we have ARPA that has to be allocated before December 31st and has to be spent prior to December 31st of next year. We also have this identified as a HCD, so we have the community development funds that have to be spent by, I believe, May of next year. So what we're doing is breaking this into 2 phases. The first part will be the actual design and sourcing of the actual construction. The second part, which we will then do into next fiscal year, is the actual installation. So as it's provided to you, we have a projected cost of at least $300,000. We're looking at using $126,000 of HCD money that's already been previously approved by the state. And now the additional $139,000 that was just authorized by council, and the rest would come out of the wastewater enterprise funds. Any questions?
I don't have any questions. I just remember visiting the facility a couple of years ago, and we all took a picture out there. And I know that there's major wear and tear out there, just because of the debris that we find in there. And so I think this is something that we need, because if we don't fix this, we have a melee of issues after that. So, you guys have any questions?
Do we know approximately about the HTC, how much funding we're giving them?
The HCD funds.
126, and then you got the 139.
From ARPA. And we're expecting the total cost to be about $300,000. It's possible it could be under, possible it could be slightly more once that comes back.
Any other questions?
No questions, but this is just for the RFP, right?
This is to release the RFP.
Okay, because if I'm be honest, I didn't know what a bar screen was. I'm looking at it now. Definitely need that.
I didn't know either. Not recently.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
I just wanted to get clarification that it's just the RFP, not that, which is.
So
I support.
basically, the way it happens is the wastewater hits this bar screen. The bar screen filters out those solids, and there's a conveyor belt that then pulls them to a different area. It goes through an auger, which basically separates the solids from the wastewater. The solids are then diverted over to another area, and then we ultimately have to offload that to the dump after testing. So
okay,
we definitely don't want our guys doing that, man.
Okay, guys, if we have no more questions, I'll open this up for public comment. Item 12.5, I'm opening up for public comment. Seeing none, public comment for this item is now closed. I motion to approve. Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
We have a motion from Mayor Cerna, second from Mayor Pro Tem Flores. Councilmember Villarreal.
Aye.
Councilmember Saros.
Aye.
Councilmember Sanchez.
Aye.
Motion carries 5-0.
Okay, moving on to our public hearings. Item 13.1, 1467 West Tulare Road, partial map. Submitted by Kara Stoll. Okay. Welcome.
Thank you, Mayor, council members. This item is a final parcel map and notice of exemption. The request was made by Lab Chemical Engineering to divide a 9.33 acre parcel into two parcels in accordance with a previously approved tentative parcel map number 2302. I'm sure council is familiar with this site by now, but oddly enough, at least 2 or 3 times it's come before you previously, it was listed as 1467 West Tulare Road. And that was an error, and that error is also in the staff report, but it has been corrected in this presentation. So the actual project address is 1647 West Tulare Road. The APN number that's been used has always been correct, so that remains the same.
Thank you for clarifying.
And this project is located north of Highway 65. And it has been previously approved with a tentative map and a travel center. This is an exhibit of the final map. And you can see there are 2 parcels being proposed. The northern parcel, parcel A, is zoned for multifamily use. And although no project is proposed at this time, the zoning would remain. And parcel B, the southern parcel, has already been approved for a highway commercial use consistent with its zoning of highway commercial for a travel center, including gas station, quick serve restaurant, and convenience store. So the basic process for a final map is just to review it for conformance with the tentative parcel map. And as the tentative parcel map has already been approved, this is kind of just a formality to say, yes, the final map is in conformance with that. It does meet all the requirements of the Subdivision Map Act. And this is just some project history about the site itself. A notice of exemption was already completed for the tentative parcel map, and a mitigated negative declaration was already adopted and filed for the travel center. So this project is consistent with both of those previous legal findings. And with that, staff has reviewed the final map, determined it is in compliance with the Subdivision Map Act and conforms to the approved tentative parcel map, and therefore can recommend approval. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
Anybody have a question? I don't have any questions. I don't see any questions. Thank you, Kara. Good. We're not motioning to approve this. Correct?
Yes, you have to open the public hearing and then, this is approval of the final.
So we will now open up item 13.1 for public comment. Seeing none, this item is now closed. Okay, we have a motion.
A motion to approve 13.1.
Second.
I'll second.
Let's do it.
Okay.
Sorry.
So we'll go with Villarreal. We have a motion from Councilmember Cerro, second from Councilmember Villarreal. Councilmember Sanchez.
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Flores.
Aye.
Mayor Serna.
Aye.
Motion carries 5-0 to approve the parcel map.
And for our economic development committee members, this is a lot of good stuff for us to talk about. I just want to share that downtown, travel center, bin storage, 5%
Okay, moving on to item 13.2, extension of CUP 23-01 mini storage.
Thank you, Mayor, again, council members. And this item precedes me, but maybe some of you might be familiar with it. This is a previously approved conditional use permit number 2301, and the request is to extend it for an additional 12 months. The request was made by Adam Wilson.
Is it not going?
The project location is undeveloped, so it does not have an address at this point. It is located north of Tulare Road, west of the Southern Pacific Railroad. And this is part of the O'Hara project. So it's come before you a few times under the O'Hara name, and it was previously Sierra Mini Storage, but I'm not sure if it would be. Okay, Sierra Mini Storage it is. The site is zoned mixed use, and this use is consistent with that zoning. The project is exempt, and a notice of exemption was already filed under the previous CUP. Section 18.17.100 of the Lindsay Municipal Code allows for a renewal of a conditional use permit for a period of 1 year with an application request, which we did receive. And the conditions of approval would remain in effect as they were previously adopted. This is just a rendering of the proposed site plan. And under a renewal of the conditional use permit, everything that was previously approved would remain in place. So the site plan is approved as submitted, as previously approved, I should say. And then as I mentioned, the conditions of approval would remain the same as well. And staff does recommend City Council approve the extension of conditional use permit number 2301. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
Did I miss it? Why are they extending it again?
They purchased it after it was already approved. They didn't realize that there was a sunset on this approval, and so in order to keep it alive, they have to apply for this extension, and that will allow them to apply for a building permit. Will be their next step. Would be construction documents.
Yeah, to piggyback on that, can I ask what the delay's been for this project?
I would have to defer to the app.
I'd love to hear from you guys.
Storm drainage was a big one, and so we need to extend the Mariposa Basin. We're working in conjunction with the builder next door to us, so we finally figured out a temporary basin until we can expand the Mariposa Basin. We've already gone through our first round of corrections from the city. Actually submitted our secondary set today, so I'm hoping to be on site either in December.
Cool.
There's a lot of planning, yeah.
This year.
We're ready to go.
And you guys are also have the housing, right?
No, the housing is next door. We're working in conjunction.
Oh,
with
in
them.
conjunction, got it.
Friendly neighbor kind of thing, sharing runoff and that sort of thing. So,
Cool. Did you have to pay for this renewal?
Yeah.
Interesting. Should have asked for a waiver. All right, no questions.
Any questions? Opening this item. Public comment.
Is your mic on?
None. This
Is your mic on? Thank you.
I'll repeat it. Thanks. I thought it was on. Okay, now opening up item 13.2 for public comments. Do we have anybody wishing to make public comment on this item? Not seeing anybody at this time. We're now closing this item for public comment. Do we have a motion to approve?
A motion to approve.
I'll second.
We have a motion from Councilmember Sanchez, second from Councilmember Saros, Councilmember Villarreal.
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Flores. And Mayor Cerna.
Aye.
Motion carries to approve resolution 24-42.
Okay, guys, at this time, we're going to be moving next door to public or not public.
Closed
session, executive closed session. You guys will remain here. Next door.
Mayor, can I ask a favor before we adjourn? We get a picture with the new Economic Development Committee members with the council.
Oh, sure.
We sure can.
Are you guys, everybody still here? Okay, come on up.
Yeah, I'm your neighbor. I didn't know that. Yeah, I don't know who told you. Did your neighbors tell you?
Steve.
Oh, yeah, Steve, yeah. I walk it sometimes down because my son will ride his bike, you know.
So you're the person I'm waiting.
Yeah, I just wait. Are we gonna talk to you if I see you out there the next time I was going back and
Sure, have
forth?
coffee with me.
Huh?
Come over to the house, have coffee.
I know, definitely.
Yeah, you meet my wife.
So cool. I know, I just looked at your, I wanted to, signature Chicano studies major.
It was.
Oh, that's so cool.
Still am.
Yes. So I always will be. There's like, I'm a hugger though. I got your life. Yeah. Probably at a gate or something.
Well, they had some. Parent.
Okay. Maybe I'll be switched in the middle a bit more, so I have my microphone. Maybe like, yeah, there we go, that's good. There we go. Can't see Misty.
Right here.
Maybe you can switch them. All right,
Turn off the TV.
1, 2, 3. One this way. Perfect, thank you.
Thank you. You guys, welcome, guys, welcome. Look forward to- Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
great.
You only have one more?
But, well, this is my last one. You guys kind of write me a letter, like,
Okay.
nice.
All right. Welcome back, everybody. We are now back from executive closed session. With the report at this time. We're moving on for a request for future items. Does anybody have something you want to request for the future?
One thing, last meeting, I told you guys about a local artist that wanted to perform at the community theater. He's looking at the date of December 7th through the 14th. Would love it if you guys can make it. However, he did say that the $500 rental request is a little bit financially heavy for him. I don't know if council does waivers or what happens, but those two things that I just wanted to share.
I also have some stuff too. I don't know how we go about this, we're still kind of new at this, but there's the four-way stop on Harvard, there needs to be a four-way stop on Harvard and Linmore as well, Foothill and Linmore. I know that the Harvard and Linmore, that's city limits, that's a very dangerous intersection like that. I drive that a lot, so I don't know how we can go about that, maybe just because we try to maybe look at the how we can go about, you know.
Is that the only intersection?
County is the Foothill and Linmore, that was where the accident just occurred.
Yeah.
So I take that route too, going up to county's houses, but we noticed that you really have to be cautious going through them, because people drive wild. But where Vitatech is on that area, it's that one that just goes on Harvard all the way through 65, going to Old 65. They drive fast, and then you can't see the trees and stuff, like it's just super scary. And then when I'm driving with my son, and when I'm always very cautious driving that area. So just something to look into.
Did you mention another intersection too?
It's Foothill and Linmore, but that's county. I mean, that's county.
You have to talk to Larry McCarty, they have to do a traffic study to see if there's enough cars for warning stuff.
So just something to note. And then one more thing, one of the board members on for the school district called me today, wanted to know if we could do something for Tom Rooney, the superintendent's last meeting is I believe it's Monday, the 16th of December. And maybe we can do like 2 months, if we could all show up, that would be cool. But like do a proclamation on behalf of the city. And I'd be happy to help out with that to add like the line of the school district. That's something we can do before the December 16th. I definitely said I would represent on behalf of us if I had to, but it'd be cool if we could show up and just show his appreciation of what he's doing to Lindsay and the education system. It's come a long way. Well, we're constantly getting visitors in our school model, and I'm a firm believer in our school model.
Yeah, so.
So I'm with you.
Anything else on the drive? Did you get all of it?
I did too.
No more future items. This meeting is now adjourned.
So just to clarify, I think that the Harvard and